Well, back again. You survived another one. Russ Gibb jumping up and down, and we're inviting you to not only hang in there, but we're going to tell you about a new restaurant in our town. And we have a man who has opened up this restaurant with Christoph. It's in the Christoph, well, I don't know what you call it, Christoph's restaurant for years and years. And Alfredo Nudi is my guest. And he's a gentleman that has opened up a new Italian restaurant with food that's going to knock you out. And he brought some of the food. We'll be talking a little bit about some of the ideas that he has about our town, Dearborn, Michigan. So don't go away. If you're into food, as I am, you'll love the show. I can hardly wait to show you what he brought over. Now, if you've been wondering what I've been jumping up and down about, I guess it's the, you know, I love us in the media. We are the world's greatest jump on, jump off, whatever. What's the latest fad? Whatever's the latest story, we all jump in. And they made a mistake here recently. Yep, the news media got the wrong signals, and boy, are they backtracking. The Detroit Free Press, which has to be one of the papers that I wonder about. It really is. It's the ha-ha paper in many respects, in my mind, in Detroit. But here they have a story, Legionnaire's Threat Apparently Over, written by Patricia Edmonds and Dolly Katz. Now, as you recall, there has been a story going on in England in Stafford, England, about the Legionnaire disease. And so for weeks and weeks and weeks, we've been reading about this story about people in a hospital getting the Legionnaire disease. Well, some young reporter got wind that some doctor had diagnosed some person that had been to a hotel out in Romulus, actually the Hilton out in Romulus, up by the airport, and had somehow come down with Legionnaire disease. So they said, oh boy, there's a story that happened in England, and it's happening here in Detroit, and we'll publicize it. So big stories in the Free Press and the Detroit News, and they're all jumping up and down caring about that. And then all of a sudden, it dawned on them that if you let that kind of story get out of control, guess what happens to tourism in Michigan? Michigan's biggest industry, tourism. So I can imagine what happened. The governor, everybody gets on the phone and they call and say, what are you doing to us? You're making a sensational story. It was nearly like as silly as some of the stories that were coming out about the child care centers, where every time you send a kid to the child care center, you're sure he's going to get molested. That type of story that got out of control. Well, the media did it with this one, but they're trying to backtrack now. It's okay, folks. You won't get the disease. Just come on down to the hotel. It's okay. Well, quite frankly, your chances of getting a disease, you know, is a percentage that no one can tell you. Because there are all kinds of diseases in the world that you can get, and people are getting all kinds of diseases every day. But when the media focuses in, and then the television goes on it, and then the newspapers, you build up a scare, and that's what's happened. And right at the beginning of the tourist season here in Michigan, we start a rumor like that. Talk about irresponsibility of the media. Who gave them the right to pick out that story to put it in the first place? Who are these people that determine what news we see? What's the important stories? It's nearly as funny as 60 Minutes, which has to be the worst journalism in television, because if you believe 60 Minutes, then you believe that the moon is made out of cheese. It's like believing the Detroit Free Press or the Detroit News. Or any television news service, for that matter, because we're worse than the newspapers. We are. We're the world's worst. Everybody's shaking their head in the studio saying, yep, Gibb, you're the world's worst. Well, it's called honesty, folks. That's what we lack. We lack honesty, it seems to me, and we jump on stories on bandwagons. If this is the story this week, then we'll be the story next week. The media reads the media, and I think you got to remember that. That has to be burned into your head, and you got to get to that point where you start distrusting what you see on television, because many times the truth is in the editing floor, and what you read in the newspaper, you know, that's just somebody's idea of what's an important story. There's millions of stories going on every day, and somebody picks out this story and says, this is important and this is important, and therefore we all begin to think that's the way the world is. I think we need some control on our media. What do you think? Well, if you disagree, give me a call. Drop me a card. Russ Gibb at random, Mercantile Drive, Dearborn, Michigan, and then you can get on the act. Enough of that. I want to pay some bills, and I want to talk about a neat new restaurant in our town. And we'll be talking about Italian food with Alfredo Nudi. And we're going to get him to pronounce the name of his new restaurant, because I can't do it. I'll be right back.
Hello, you probably know me by my job, but I have another one of which I'm very proud. I serve as the honorary president of the Boy Scouts of America. Their goals are ones that we all can share. The Boy Scouts develop character, physical fitness, citizenship, and love of country. The Boy Scouts believe in helping others. Maybe that's why they've been around so long. The Boy Scouts are part of America, and I'm proud to be a part of the Boy Scouts of America.
Dr. Ronald Banish would like to share this dental advice with the families of Dearborn.
Preventive dental care is important for everyone. You should brush your teeth thoroughly at least once a day, floss your teeth effectively every day, eat a balanced diet that includes something from each food group, supplement your diet with vitamins B and C, and schedule regular dental visits.
Dr. Banish is now accepting new patients. For an appointment, call 561-0500.
1985, it's going to be one of your best years. And at Bob Ford, it's already here. Our 1985 models are in, and we couldn't wait to show them off. Come in and see our new Escorts, the new Tempo, the Super 85 Mustang, and the timeless style of this year's Thunderbird. Or check out our wide range of 85 trucks and vans, all designed to make your new year better than ever. Come see the 85s at Bob Ford and get a head start on a great year. Have you driven a Bob Ford lately?
Hello. Muirhead's department store has been serving discriminating customers in Dearborn for over 25 years. I'm Alberta Muirhead, and I'd like to invite you to see the new Muirheads. My staff and myself would like to get to know you and serve you. So, the next time you need that special dress, gentleman's tie, or a unique gift, please think of Muirheads. Remember, Muirheads for fashion, selection, and our tradition of excellence.
Fairlane Car Wash, with the cooperation of Molly and Robert, present yet another dramatization.
At Fairlane Car Wash, we clean your cars inside and out, from top to bottom, starting with our gentle soft cloth wash. We scrub your floor mats, clean the windows, brighten your white walls, vacuum the carpet and seats, and then buff your car dry by hand. That's full service.
Fairlane Car Wash, the ones with the soft cloth, at the corner of Michigan and Oakman, Dearborn.
It's like everybody's reading the Times-Herald these days for the very best in local news, sports, want ads, features, and a whole lot more. One reason is that the Times-Herald has more local news, better sports and features, and we're first on the newsstand. Another good reason is that the Times-Herald is delivered to you on time, every time. You get your copy every Thursday with your mail, and you get this for a whole lot less than you might be paying for another local newspaper. Start your mail home delivery of the Times-Herald today by calling 584-4000.
Well, back again. Well, you're doing it to me. Alfredo, you're doing it to me. The odor of that.
Isn't that wonderful?
Oh. I can hardly resist. What is it about Italian food? It is aromatic. It not only looks good, but it gets to you.
The use of all those spices.
Is that what it is?
That's what does it.
It's driving
Garlic.
me. I'm saliving. You know, I'm thinking, oh boy, would I like to get it. And you did say I could have this after,
oh, absolutely.
after the show.
Absolutely.
Alfredo Nudi.
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 Right.
Italian man, Alfredo, obviously.
Yes. Calabrese.
Calabrese.
Yes.
Now, you have a restaurant, and we were talking about this on my Sunday evening show one day. I was talking about Christos.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave some misinformation. That's why we invited you down, because I was saying that I thought Christos had the restaurant and that it sold the bar. I got it reversed.
Right.
Actually, you have a restaurant now called
Ristorante La Taverna.
Say
try that again?
Yeah.
Ristorante La Taverna.
Ristorante La
Taverna.
Taverna.
Simply
the tavern.
The tavern.
The tavern restaurant.
Right.
But you put it in Italian, and all of a sudden...
A little more exciting.
A little more exciting. You're in the Christoph. Straighten that out for me now.
Okay, we We joined Christoph in November. We were located in Detroit and decided we had to move to improve our business situation.
Okay.
And the Christoph family were mostly concentrating on banquets and not too heavily in the dining room area.
Right.
And we had talked about it in the past, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, about getting together and doing something. And this situation came up where I decided that I did want to relocate. And we talked about it again, and so I came in there as the restaurant operator, and he maintains the bar aspect, the lounge
Okay.
aspect.
So, if you call information, do you ask for the tavern or do you ask for Christos? If I want to call for a reservation, where do I call?
You can reach either one of us at either of our numbers. At the Christoph number, we'll take reservations for the restaurant. If you called the restaurant and wanted to talk to the Christophs, you would be able to reach one of them. There is no separation in the building. It's one massive facility, and we just share the location.
Now, one of the comments that was made to me on my phone is that there were not many great restaurants left in East Dearborn.
Mm-hmm.
I can think of Amato's, which is a famous restaurant, Christoph's, and now yours. There used to be Appleyards, was it? Up on Michigan Avenue. There used to be a big one, and that folded years ago. And so people have been waiting, and I think it's time, because there's a rebirth going on in this area. I was talking with Peggy Campbell, the president of the Chamber of Commerce, and she said we need more good restaurants in this town, because I think people are going out. First of all, more people are going out now.
Yes.
You got to give McDonald's credit, because what they did, they got us out of our house.
Exactly.
They got us eating. But after you have enough McDonald's, and I'm not knocking them because I love them, I like White Castles, there comes a time when you want a good, what I call a solid meal, and you want it served well.
Mm-hmm.
And I resent having to drive out to Birmingham or out to Plymouth all the time. Sure, we have some great ones around the Fairlane Center there.
Right.
But I think it's time that we had some right on our main streets, and also family-owned. And you know, I would know you. You're
Right.
there every night, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I agree with you. That has been lacking, and we're seemingly going back to that era where the family-owned business, the family-owned restaurants are coming into the fore. The fast foods were taking over for a while, but we're getting back to it. And this area in Dearborn is conducive to that type of business.
Well, the growth is going to be phenomenal. Ford Motor Company is going to be pumping a lot of money in
Yes.
here. The location of Dearborn is par excellence. There's not a better location
And I
anywhere.
like what's happening here in East Dearborn.
Oh,
The
it's growing.
revitalization of the Schaefer area, the way City Hall is redone. It just looks very good. And
So-
my location, directly across the street from City Hall, is ideal.
So now we have to let people know that we got a new restaurant in town and we ought to get down there. Now, you're not new to the restaurant business, Alfredo. You've
No,
been
I'm
in
not.
for how many years?
I've been in the business for 26 years.
Okay.
I'm here in Detroit 8 years. I opened my restaurant in 1977 in Detroit. Excuse me. And moved into Dearborn in November.
In
as I
November.
said.
Now, you brought some food here. Now, let's take a look at this. This, you know, part of food is the way it's served, right?
Yes,
It's
the
called an art.
presentation.
Now, this to me is very European. In fact, I never saw this combination. You're going to have to tell me that's
Prosciutto. It's
prosciutto. It's
an Italian ham. Peppered in spices and dry cured.
And with melon.
Correct.
Now, the first time I ever had meat and fruit together was on a transatlantic flight to London. And
Probably one of the European airlines.
Yes.
Yes.
And I couldn't believe the combination, because I was always brought up that you eat meat at the main course and you eat fruit either after as a dessert.
As a dessert, yeah.
And yet the Europeans, and when I got over there, they're doing this all the time. What do you call that? Is there a name for that, or is it just a...
Oh, well, it's antipasti is the name of anything that they eat before the meal. This particular antipasti is melon and prosciutto. Melone e prosciutto.
Oh, it sounds good. Now, what's the correct way? Can I touch this?
Sure, absolutely.
Now, you take the lemon, and you put the lemon on the melon.
On the
right?
melon.
Yeah. So I'm not wrong. I won't
No.
look... I mean, you got to help me out. 'cause,
Okay.
You know, I grew up in the South End, so that, you know, this class stuff sort of gets to me. All right, you do that. Where do you put this? Anyway?
Just on the side of the
On the
plate.
side, okay. And you take
Take the knife and the fork.
Oh, you actually eat it. You don't pick it up.
No, you don't pick it up.
Oh, see, I was a watermelon kid. I mean, I just pick it up.
Remove this.
There we go. So let's get in. I'm going to show you something that I know.
All right.
I'm a European. See, I learned. Oh, look, I got ink all over my finger. Huh?
That's correct.
That's the way the Europeans call it. The Americans do it like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
A very unfortunate practice. It's very tiring to eat American.
Yeah, because you have to switch all the time.
All right.
Am I doing this okay?
That's correct. That's very good.
Well,
You'll need to get up a little higher on
yeah,
that.
maybe I can I put it on the side? I guess that's permissible.
Whatever way is convenient to eat it is what
Okay,
you
then
do.
you grab a little bit of this.
Right.
This first?
You eat that first. You take a little piece of the ham and you intermingle the taste in your mouth.
The taste. It's like good wine.
Yes.
The Italians can do that. They start and they fool around and
Isn't that
that
ham
is a
delicious? And the combination.
What is that in there? Now that really is different. You know, I like Polish ham.
Mm-hmm.
But this has a subtlety. Wow.
Very heavily peppered.
But you don't. It doesn't taste hot.
No, the pepper is on the outside in the curing process. There's garlics and salts, and then it's the process, the dry curing.
Keep talking.
Oh yeah, you're going to keep eating and finish my plates right before we look at them.
Beautiful.
But it's the process of making prosciutto ham is a traditional, centuries-old practice.
So, what would something like this cost at the? I know it's sort of, not classy to ask about cost, but on the Gibb show we like to find out, what everything costs.
Well, for instance, this appetizer is $2.95, the way you see it. With the
that's reasonable.
Yes, very. My price is I'm considered a moderately priced restaurant.
Well, I'll tell you, that is reasonable. Because if you go to some of these other places, this is great, by the way. I love it. If you go to other places, they'll charge you $5 for a salad like that.
I've seen it as high as $10.95 for a plate very similar to this.
So that's what you have first.
That would be your appetizer, correct.
And then you get into a classic Italian dish called?
This is cottoletto di vitello parmigiano.
It's sort of fun to have them say it. Say it again. Go ahead, Nudi.
Cottoletto di vitello parmigiano.
Veal Parmesan.
Veal Parmesan, correct.
Why is it that the Italians are so famous for... First of all, veal is a young calf?
Calf, right.
That's
It's a yearling, 1 year old or less.
Okay. And it's coated in...
We dip it in an egg and flour, and then a light coating of breadcrumb. Fry it quickly so as not to overdo the meat.
So it's not dried out.
Right. And then we top it with sauce. Put it in the oven and let it bake for a while, and then top it with the cheese finally, and it's ready.
Is that the kind of cheese they use on pizza?
No, it isn't. This is provolone cheese. I do it a little different. Most places use a mozzarella, and I like the flavor, the smoky flavor.
Can I try a bit of that?
Sure.
I hate to mess it up. It's so beautiful.
Oh, help yourself.
But
I brought it for you.
I know. I love it. I love it. Oh, look at that. Ooh, my. See, I like these kind of shows. Everybody, the staff goes crazy.
I know. They don't get the taste, right? We may have this done before the show is over.
I'll bet you it'll be done. This is good stuff, too. What kind of spaghetti? This is little spaghetti.
This is a thin spaghetti. This is
Now, wait, I do it like this. I hope that's permitted.
It breaks my heart.
Does it? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, come on. All right. Okay. Show me how to do it.
Right.
Come on. Let's see you do it here. This is the way you get in. Never mind, folks. This is called A Lesson in Italian Eating. Good Italian eating.
And I'm here to show you. This is the correct way. A lot of people like to use the spoon when they twirl pasta, but that, according to the Italians, is incorrect. And when I toured Italy and I spoke to people over there, they said that was not the class way to eat spaghetti. The real way is to take a little portion, pull it aside, take it to the side of the plate, and twirl your fork right on the corner of the plate.
Until you get the thing.
Until you get enough on there. Just a biteful.
Bring her up.
Bring it up. You got a little dangling. You just take your fork back down and twirl it again.
Some more twirls.
See, it's the pleasure in eating is the time that it takes.
That's it. Yeah, right. We don't get into that in America. We tend to. Ooh, that
and
looks
then
good.
you partake.
Don't eat any of that. I'll eat it.
Okay.
Just leave it on the plate like that. That's good. Nudi, you're absolutely right. One of the great pleasures of dining is time.
Yes.
We've lost that in this country. We tend to want everything
too fast. And again, that is the results of the fast food age. We as Americans are caught up with getting things done in a hurry. You know, we've got jobs to do, and it takes time to do them. Just hurry up and do it and get our job done so we can get some time to relax. So we're always in a fast pace. What I profess at my restaurant is if you don't have an hour and a half, you don't have time to eat in my restaurant. That's the time that it takes.
When I was in Europe, Nudi, many times people wouldn't start eating there till very late at night. Literally. I mean,
Yes.
I was in restaurants till 11 o'clock.
Well, that's their way of life over there. If, as you know, in particularly Italy and most of the European countries, they have a midday break. They open their shops very early in the morning, 7 o'clock, and they go till 11:30, 12 o'clock, and then they close from 12 o'clock until 4. Now, some of them take this time to go home and rest. Some go to restaurants and have their bigger meal at that time of the day. And then when they reopen at 4 or 5 in the evening, they stay open a little later, thereby giving them an opportunity to go out later at night to have their dinner.
And then they party.
Right.
And they have a good time. It's a socializing time.
Yeah.
Families will go. You'll see young people, old people. It's almost like an Italian wedding. You see everybody there. I mean, they're all there having a good time. That's what your restaurant's going to be.
That's what it's about. Right, socializing. We're family-oriented. Both my family and the Christoph family are always there. Our ideas and attitudes are, I guess, old world and traditional.
These prices are terrific. And by the way, it's a beautiful menu.
Thank you.
It's a good-looking menu, and these prices are terrific. In fact, they're incredible.
Well, we thought that the only reasonable way to do business would be to be fair. And I think my prices are fair.
Fair? They're incredibly fair.
Yeah.
They're very, very reasonable.
Don't excite me. I may think about raising them if you convince me they're too low.
No. Well, look, you could go out and you could have dinner for two, obviously for two, for under 15 bucks.
Yes.
You could hardly go to McDonald's for that. And here you're getting the service and the food. Do you have wine?
Yes. We have a full bar service because, as I said, the Christophs are still operating the bar, and we also have a selection of wines. Incidentally, all Italian wines by the bottle. I don't have any California or Michigan or French wines.
Just Italian?
Just Italian wines. Now, we do have some bulk wines that are California and German and the like, but my bottled wines are strictly Italian and class Italian wines, not table wines.
Look at this. Veal Parmesan with gonchi?
Gnocchi.
Gnocchi.
Yeah.
With meatballs. Dinner for two, $22.25. That's incredible.
And that includes an antipasto, which is
dessert,
an appetizer. But this antipasto alla calabrese is much like an antipasto salad. There are greens, there are assortment of meats, cheeses, and eggs, peppers,
the whole shooting match.
The whole schmaltz, you know.
I'm going to come in to see you.
Wonderful.
What time are you open now? What are your hours over there?
We're open Monday through Friday from 11:30 until 2:30, serving lunch, which is a different menu than this, by the way.
Okay.
I have a lighter menu, sandwiches, salads, and the like, and pastas, of course. And dinner starts at 5 o'clock, and we serve Tuesday through Saturday from 5 o'clock.
Okay.
So Monday evening we're closed, Sunday we're closed.
What time do you stay open? Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday particularly, we serve until 10 o'clock.
Till 10 o'clock.
Yes.
So that's a good deal. And you're located on Michigan Avenue between Schaefer, literally across from the City Hall.
Actually between Neckel and Maple. There's a big green awning on the front of the building, and it says Christoph's and Ristorante
Will
La
I
Taverna.
see you there with the mustache? That's for real.
You'll see me there all the time, yes, absolutely.
Nudi, that's great. Good luck in your business. And we can do anything to help you, give us a holler. It's great
Thank you very much.
Young businessmen coming into our town.
Looking forward to
I'm going to bring my family down there, too.
Okay.
We're going to have a good time.
Look forward to seeing you.
Thank you for coming down. Make sure you check it out, Christoph's, Nudi's, and you're going to love it. You're going to love it. The food is excellent. Russ Gibb, I'll be back right after these announcements.
A boomtown gone bust. There's a lesson here about human nature and financial security. The company now known as IDS American Express has never cottoned to get-rich-quick schemes. For 90 years, they've held the best investment is to sit down one-to-one with a knowledgeable person you can trust and work out a long-term financial plan. An IDS American Express planner can sit down with you even at home to size up your goals like saving on taxes, educating your kids, retirement, and develop a prudent plan to reach them. Then help put it into action. It's a chance to prosper without going bust. Sit down with an IDS American Express planner. It could be the best investment you'll ever make.
Look, the Statue of Liberty. I don't feel so good. Where does it hurt? All over. I need lots of fixing. That's going to be expensive. If we ask people to help, they will. Everyone loves me. To help, send your contributions to The Lady, Box 1986, New York, or call 1-800-THE-LADY. It would make me feel a lot better. Keep the torch lit! I love her.
What if that apple a day doesn't keep the doctor away? Will your health insurance really help? Or will medical care costs eat it up too fast? If you want a free review of all your coverage needs, check with State Farm. To find out how healthy your health insurance really is, see a State Farm agent now.
You know how important your health is, and good health can start from the ground up, beginning with healthy feet. Dr. Lawrence Young has been treating foot problems for the past 12 years and now offers the use of laser surgery for the treatment of many common skin and nail problems. Dr. Young is a highly trained foot surgeon and diplomat of the American Board of Podiatric Surgery and Orthopedics. Foot care is especially important to children, diabetics, athletes, and the elderly. But feet are important to everyone. After all, your good health is resting on them.
What is the one thing that sets Adre Appliance worlds apart? Is it service, selection, quality, price, community commitment? There isn't just one thing that puts Adre into a world all its own. You'll find all of these things every day at Adre Appliance. Every day except Sunday. Adre Appliance.
Why a guy goes off his diet. Check it out. And by the way, they're going to have over at Christoph's and the Taverna restaurant, I can only say it in English, on Tuesday, May the 21st, from 5 until 10 p.m., they're going to have a special, it's a benefit, and all the proceeds will be going for USA for Africa. The tips from the waiters and the waitresses and the profits, all of that will go on in to a good cause. So check it out. That's this Tuesday, May the 21st, from 5 to 10 p.m. over at Christoph's, right across from City Hall. Check out. It's a new restaurant in town. You're going to love it. Hey, for those who took time to view the show today, I'd like to say thank you. For those who took time to drop me a card or a letter, I'd like to say thank you. But most of all, I'd like to thank you for just being you. Russ Gibb in the food.
Donated all proceeds from tonight's meals to the U.S. for Africa relief effort, and the hardworking staff at the restaurant donated all of its time and tips to the cause.
Last night here on News 4, Bob Pizer introduced us to the members of Chapter